Good morning to you, fellow Ambazonians, and good afternoon to you, all fellow Ambazonians. Welcome to this episode of our podcast. Today it's a great day. Today it's a beautiful day. Welcome all, welcome all, welcome all. Welcome, fellow Ambazonians. Welcome, 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 welcome. Let's get started. We have great conversations. We're going to have very interesting conversations today. All right. Welcome to you all, fellow Ambazonians. Welcome to you all, friends and friends of Ambazonia. Good afternoon to you all. I hope you are all doing well. I hope you all had a great weekend, and I hope you're prepared to have a great week. All right. On our podcast today, we will be talking about the fate of Cameroon colonial senator Madame Regina Mundi. Also, most of you probably know this. Over the weekend, the former Cameroon colonial parliamentarian Joseph Weber was in Stuttgart, Germany for a conference or to talk to the Ambazonian people in Germany. We will be bringing in news. We'll give you some analysis, some evaluations about what was his address about. Did Weber meet up with any expectations? Because the conference was overly publicized. What was the outcome? Was there any expectations that were met? Was there any vision that was revealed to the Ambazonian people? All of this, we will be revealing it during this podcast. We will also be bringing you some revelations from Barrister Tumasang Martin. He made an analysis on Mr. Weber's speech. We will give you some snippets from that as well. All right, let's get started. Let me pull up this information. Please, as you join the podcast, today's live podcast, please share with other people so that they can join us. They can also participate. They can also know what's going on. They can also be part of the discussions. Okay? As you join, you share. Let's start first with the message that came from the office of the leader of Ambazonian Liberation, Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, the president of Ambazonia Governing Council. Yesterday, Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba sent out a message to the Ambazonian people with regards to the situation of the Cameroon colonial enabler senator, Madame Regina Mundi. There has been a lot of tension. There has been a lot of argument. People are making all kinds of theories. People are sending out all kinds of conspiracies. The leader wanted to put out a clear message to the Ambazonian people, to the international community, and to Cameroon. Here is what the leader said. I will be speaking primarily in Pidgin mostly for this podcast is geared towards communicating directly to the Ambazonian people throughout the Ambazonian territory, and also those are the ones in the diaspora. All right. So, fellow Ambazonians, I will talk for Pidgin, as I don't already explain them. A lot of things that they go on. People that they find out now what did be Madame Mundi fate? What did happen with Madame Mundi Regina? What did happen with the Cameroon colonial enabler senator? What did happen? He don't die, they don't kill him. What did he go on? Tell us, tell we. You must tell me what did it go on. The woman don't die or he never die. They go kill the woman or they don't go kill the woman. What did it go on? Is they alive or it is sick? What did it go on? P.S. Tell me. Anyways, so I don't come today for can't tell you now. What will be the fate of Madame Regina Mundi? But before we go for all those big things then, and I also don't tell, as I talk of my introduction, let me say, as all man be the expecter, Ambazonia, they get very high expectations because they put out flyers for over the last 2 weeks. Say the Cameroun former colonial member of parliament, Mr. Joseph Weber, they be talk say he go for Stuttgart for Germany. He go make for a conference for the way that he organize them. He go talk. He want talk about the Weber's vision for Ambazonia. Weber get a vision for Ambazonia. Weber get a dream for Ambazonia. So people be get very high expectations. The conference it don't take place, as some of you know. Now analysts, political scientists, experts, leadership coaches, people that do a lot of evaluation for what the conference will be all about. And if Mr. Joseph Weber it be make any headway, it be impress people them or it be disappoint people them. We go the bring una witty people they talk and we go actually take some time can give una a full evaluation of Mr. Weber his speech for Germany. All right, before we reach for all of those analysis, before we reach for any of those things, before we talk anything about Mr. Weber, make we first talk about the thing with the heart, the life or death of Madame Regina Mundi, the fate of Madame Regina Mundi. I know saying a thing where every person be interested, every person be excited about, every person want to know what did they really go on. Because a lot of information they out there, a lot of misinformation they out there, a lot of conspiracies that they out there, a lot of all sort of things that people that they put up outside they out there. But now the leader say, look, no matter what people that they talk for outside, they make ESSF, he can't tell the Ambazonian people them what it go on. So yesterday, the leader of our war of independence, the president, the president of Ambazonia Governing Council, Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, he write a message yesterday evening. He put them straight to the Ambazonian people. Make you tell now what the leader he take talk. The leader talks say, my dear compatriots, fellow Ambazonians. He talks say today, we be been yesterday. He get a video call with Madame Regina Mundi. That means say, what he mean na say, he call the Ambazonia Defense Forces them when Madame Regina Mundi they in their custody. He the leader, he call the forces them under the command. He call the command structure. He call the authorities when they keep Madame Mundi. The Ambazonia Governing Council, now the authority where he arrest Madame Regina Mundi and he keep Madame Regina Mundi on behalf of Ambazonia. So he called the chain of command of our liberators, of our defense forces. He called them for a video call. And he talks say, when he called them, he talks say, they give the phone for Madame Regina Mundi. It been a video call. They give the phone for Madame Regina Mundi. He introduced himself, talks to Madame Regina Mundi. Me, I be Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba. I be the president of Ambazonia Governing Council and the commander-in-chief of Ambazonia Defense Forces, of the forces them way, not them, they arrest you. I want to ask you, say, the forces, did they treat you fine? Madame Regina Mundi talks, say, yes, they did treat me fine. He asked Madame Regina Mundi, say, you get any medicine where you supposed to take them, where we need for no? Madame Regina Mundi talks say, no, I don't get any medicine where I'm supposed to take them and where I need forgive me. He asked and say, if Madame Regina Mundi, if you get any sickness before they arrest you, where the forces they need for no, Madame Regina Mundi talks say, no, it they fine. He asked and say, if Madame Regina Mundi, you get any mental problems, anything where na problem we feel worry Madame Regina Mundi, heart problem, psychological problems, anything we fit make Madam Regina Mundi, you need to think or be fine. Madam Regina Mundi talks say no, it not get any problem. The leader talks say for the spirit of the Ambazonian people them, and for the things and way the Ambazonian people they stand for, they fight for, he want inform the command and the people he want inform the forces and the power where now it make sure say Madam Regina Mundi define for make sure say I read them again. Pigeon confuse me small. The leader he talks say they say he want inform what commanders them and the authorities where they supervise Madam Regina Mundi for make sure say they treat Madam Regina Mundi fine and they not treat Madam Regina Mundi for the way Cameroun they treat our prisoners. He talks say for the Ambazonian people, their culture, their value, we got for treat the people that they under our custody better than the way Cameroun they treat our own people them for their own prisons. Than the way Cameroun they treat Palm 4 and all the other ones them where they still there for Cameroun their prison. Okay? And he talks say they say he tell them say make sure say they buy Madam Regina Mundi they close them we need for wear them like inner wear thing the way woman need them. It talks say make the forces they make sure say they buy those kind of things them and the gear for Madam Regina Mundi for make sure say Madam Regina Mundi it be very comfortable. The leader talks say he want make the message be very clear for all man, for Ambazonians and to the world. The leader talks say the Ambazonian people they don't make an offer for say them they need pound from Galan 4 and 75 other Ambazonians them make they be released in exchange for Madam Regina Mundi. Okay, may they be released in exchange for Madam Regina Mundi. It talks say until the Ambazonian people they get pound for back. Pound for where it don't spend the last 25 years and only advocate for peaceful method and all the things and where they concern law and democratic principles for say the Ambazonian people get the right for exist. It say until the Ambazonian people them they get all the lecturers, all the teachers, all the lawyers them with the only crime where they commit them. Now say that the advocate make Ambazonia get a better educational system and a better legal system separate from the francophonization where the Cameroon government they try for impose them for the Ambazonian homeland. It talks say, and the last thing, now say until all the Ambazonia prisoners where they sick, where they don't be chained, where they don't chain them for bed, until they be released, Madam Regina Mundi, you no go see freedom. Madam Regina Mundi, you no go be free. And even if Madam Regina Mundi die for the Ambazonian people, they are prison, they go exchange a die body with the die body of General Ivo Mba, where he die body today for Cameroon government in hand. And so the leader, he talk am. And he talk say for all the people them, where they project themselves, they promote themselves, and they don't benefit from the occupation where it don't kill thousands of our people them. No man, he no go free. It talks say Israel. It talks say an Israeli will be betray the Israel people them, where they call it a H-man, will be run go for Argentina. The Israelis, they be chasing so they get it and they face justice. It talks say the British people them, they be hanged somehow that they call it say John and Mary. Even when na papa be na the cabinet, na the secretary for the cabinet for England. It talks say as Professor Anyangwe, if you don't write them, it talks say traitors them, they go always fail and they go get the justice way they deserve them. All right, it talks say Benedict Arnold, it be end up for be a miserable man. Judas Iscariot, it be end up for kill himself. Cassius and Brutus, they be all commit suicide. Robert Ford, he be also killed by his own friend them. And it talks say Queensley be also executed by firing squad. It talks say at the end, all these things it talks say make any person we want pray, make it pray. Make it not pray for people who don't betray Ambazonia. Make it pray for Biya and for all the people then will Biya who they day around Mr. Biya. For say make Mr. Biya a released. All what people then Mr. Biya don't kidnap them. All what people then Mr. Biya don't torture them. All what people then Mr. Biya don't brutalize them, and he don't keep them under a concentration camps. It talks say Ambazonia, he don't pay enough in blood. It talks say he asks all the forces across the 13 states of Ambazonia, make the target all colonial oppressors and enablers, and then they will go use them for trade them off, for make prisoners exchange, for make sure say all Ambazonians they come out for Cameroun, their prison. It talks say Ambazonia don't suffer plenty, and we'll get plenty memories them for our head, for all our people where they don't kill them, for the one who they did for the refugee camp, for the one who they don't scatter all across La Republique and Central Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, all our people where they hide, where they stay for bush. It talks about people don't over suffer for different forms of slavery and different forms of torture. And it talks say now it talks say make we know say they say all those things we no go forget them. And so the leader he talk them. The leader talks say they say make all Ambazonians they pray for Pound 4 and may they pray for Comrade Ngalim, may they pray for Comrade Ngalim Felix, may they pray for Comrade Tati Ngu, may they pray for Sisekwa Yoktabe, and may they pray for all our prisoners of conscience where they suffer for the jails of Cameroun. All right? The leader talks say independence, it means say independence. We the Ambazonian people them shake in all day until every person who don't commit a crime against the Ambazonian people them, any person who they help La Republique for keep Ambazonia under occupation until all of those people them they face justice. What did this one mean? It mean for all we, for no say they say the lives of our people them, they matter. Now a critical time this. The leader don't lay out a condition. They don't lay out conditions. They don't make direct offer to La Republique du Cameroun. It be up to Cameroun for accept those offers. We need our big papa pound for out. We need all our prisoners of war out. They don't make that offer. Now the message that will come up for the leader. The leader they tell all the forces across the 13 states. Say may they escalate their chase for go after any Cameroon colonial enabler within the territory. Any Cameroon colonial administrator within the territory. May they catch as much of them as possible so that we go use them for make political demands. Forget all Ambazonians, leaders, or prisoners, or activists, or warriors. May we get them for exchange with Cameroon colonial enablers. So forces, the leader, they don't give una work. Now the message that will come out for the leader, for the office, for the war, for the leader of our war of independence, Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba. All right. Now, make a bring una the one way it come out, the one way come out for Honorable Joseph Weber, as all una know. Over the last 2 weeks, they don't be the over talk. Say Mr. Weber, he go for Stuttgart for Germany. Mr. Weber talk, he send out a message, say he get a dream, he get a vision for Ambazonia. And he want make all Ambazonia and them for Germany, make the gather, make they can hear the new vision we get for Ambazonia. Make they can hear the new dream we get for Ambazonia. So over 2 weeks, now so they take them left and right. Now who they take them? The people them way they always use Any Ambazonian we come up for ground zero, we don't build a reputation, we come up for ground zero, build a reputation. The people them, where they don't be frustrated by the failures of the IG for make something meaningful of the IGs. The people, they don't be very disappointed. Say these IGs, IG. It don't disappoint them, it don't frustrate them, and they need to feel comfortable for them to identify themselves with either of the IG, whether na Chris Anu IG, whether na Tita IG, whether na the Yerima Seseko IG, whether na Chris Anu IG, whether na the Sako IG. This group of people them, where they be create them, they go rally around these groups. They don't be so frustrated. They define another human being for user and dump them. Una sabi how it start. The first start, the carry Patasan, where it come up with Skakuf, the Uzi, the Dumpy. Then the carry Seseko Ayoktabe, the Puti, say be the chairman of the how they call him, the chairman of the governing council. And then they say be president of the IG. They say so make him. They carry send him for prison. You know, end for day. They go carry Sako. They say, oh, Nasako. Sako turn, he use them. He useless them. And then he scatter all them. You know, end for day. They come out. They say, where? We need some other person here. We need some other person here. We need some other person. So all these people them, they always find another way for how for make sure say, instead for bring all movements them together, say make we find a way for work and bring Ambazonians together. They always find another person where they will use it for their own relevance. Not be another person where they will use it for advance the struggle, but another person where they will use it for their own political relevance. Now they don't try, they don't look. Sako don't fail them. Chris Anu don't fail them. All these nyama things the way they do. Instead for pursue the revolution, they pursue political agenda. For make people their own selfish interest. Okay? Now they don't see a soft spot. Who? Honorable Weber. Who be Mr. Weber? Make una remember, Mr. Weber, na the person will be accept for be Seseko Ayoktabe, a vice president XXX for the interim government. Now, when they catch Mr. Ayoktabe and the people, the Naira 10, Mr. Weber run. Instead for Mr. Weber for come off outside, can't put the face for outside, even when he be already be safe for a safe place, even when he be already escape reach from Nigeria, even when he come out escape come for outside here, Mr. Weber himself he not be get the courage for come for outside talk say, now me, Mr. Weber, I be the vice president XXXXX. He not be ever talk him. But Seseko Ayoktabe himself for many meetings with both, some of those meetings we be there as activists, some of those meetings are meetings with other leaders, some of those meetings are meetings with other movements. Mr. Seseko Ayoktabe himself, he reveal and say Mr. Weber be a vice president XXX. So one person go wonder why a man where he be na the vice president XXX now we already come for London and he there for a safe place over the last 4 years, over the last 3 years. Why not still come off outside, publicly acknowledge him, say be accept for be the vice president of the IG. So when Mr. Weber now, he come off outside, can make all these speeches them. Make you give na background. 3 years ago, right after Mr. Weber don't come out, he come for UK, for London. The leadership of Ambazonia Governing Council and the leadership of the IG Care, they make a conference for London. They talk about the meet up for Manchester. The IG Care and the AGOV say they will meet up for Manchester. They make arrangement with Mr. Weber. Say, well, Mr. Weber, as we come so, if I make all we meet up together as one people, so that make all we will start for come together, make all arrangement with Mr. Weber, They set up the conference. They reach one day, Mr. Weber, he decide for not show up. They even put out a flyer, say Mr. Weber go join them. Once they reach one day, the conference take place, Mr. Weber, he not show up. No explanation, no excuse, no public apology. Now, Mr. Weber don't she don't. He calculate, he look the playing field. These same IG people them, okay? These elites them, where they define an alternative to the liberation. They define an alternative where it could be now a breach between the Cameroon colonial elites. They define a person where it could be a breach between the Cameroon colonial elites and the Ambazonian liberation. Between a person where somehow he get the authority for stand in between, for be on the middle ground. Not be for the full side of Ambazonia, not be for the full side of Cameroon, but for the middle. They define that person. We go be a middle ground. And they did one corner Mr. Weber for use Mr. Weber. So when I hear what Mr. Weber talk last year, I no go repeat him. But Mr. Weber don't go for Stuttgart. That's until we concern all now. And they don't promote say Mr. Weber get a vision for Ambazonia. He get a vision for the liberation. So they create all these flyers and they create all this information and they put them all for outside. Ambazonians for Germany, and most of them who not talk say Ambazonians for Germany, the IG. The conference be sponsored by the IG. Now an IG conference, but they always cover them saying an Ambazonian conference. Alright? Because they no one can talk the truth outside. So Mr. Weber don't come for the. He talk a lot of things then. But the most important thing we talk now say he still criticize that IG will be vice president of that IG. He talks say they not be supposed for create them. And he talks saying that the thing we don't bring the most division and the thing we don't distract Ambazonian them. That one, Mr. Weber talk and fine. But the Ambazonian people, they for inside the hall, and the one they for outside, they wait. Activism like the one the way they don't activism like how they call it Eugene Ufoka, Comrade Sikot, how they call the other one, the one way they for LCBC Day, which they call it Don Pacho, Mark Barretta. They all go Germany. They say they go support Mr. Weber. When a good thing for the liberation. For say when a person like that, he want to go for some place, he gets an important message where people they show up for supporting. Great thing. They go there. All man don't she don't they wait. They want hear the vision where Mr. Weber get them for the liberation. Vision no day. Mr. Weber, after all the long speech we make up, the speech it be more of a political campaign. It be more of a person like say one can run for re-election for making for voting back as a parliamentarian. It be a speech for touch people their hearts in terms of humanitarian work, in terms of how Mr. Weber care, in terms of how Mr. Weber really feel the pain of our people them. But other than those symbolic things them, we na soft persuasion just for win the hearts of the people them. But the message where they don't advertise them, say Mr. Weber get a vision for the Ambazonian people them, it will be very disappointing. It be very disappointing. Even the people that did it for the hall, you see the energy for the hall just drop. Because after Mr. Weber make all this almost an hour-long speech, talk different kind of things, them, talk small things, them. How will they raise money, send money for the refugees, help prisoners them, send money for IDPs. After I talk all those things, the people they wait. Mr. Weber, who's the vision we talk to you get them for Ambazonia? Would he look for something new? Would he look for something we could be an alternative to all what they go on for Ambazonian liberation? They be very disappointed. No, not be there. Mr. Weber tell and say the vision we get them, I say make Ambazonia they create revolutionary committees. Mr. Weber say the vision we get them. Let's say make Ambazonia they create small revolutionary committees. Now the vision that Mr. Weber vision the revolutionary committees. So the people they be highly disappointed because people they get high expectation because they define a miracle. Ambazonia they define a miracle, and by then Ambazonia they define a quick way out. They define something where it go solve their problems because they believe say if Mr. Weber come with a magic, the problems of Ambazonia liberation go solve. The war go come to an end. Mr. Weber go take the Ambazonian people them to the promised land like that. Now we Barrister Tumasang Martin, where he be a core Sako supporter, and he too don't drop Sako, but Barrister Tumasang Martin, na person where he criticize all things them and he make an appraisal, an evaluation of things them. Make we hear what Barrister Tumasang Martin, the 10 things them where Barrister Tumasang Martin he talk about Mr. Weber. Make we hear what Mr. Tumasang Martin he talk am. What Mr. Tumasang Martin talk am. Number 1, he talk say what be the remedy. He say Weber remedy. That means say Barrister Tumasang Martin he write up we make am for Facebook. We put am for a Facebook page. He write 10 things them. We talk say na the medicine before it be too late. The medicine for Joseph Weber before it be too late. 10 things and where Barrister Tumasang Martin he talk am. Make we read them for una. He talk say number 1. Mr. Weber he need for distance himself first from all the Federalists for London. He said that the first thing that we need for doing. He talks say number 2. Mr. Weber, he come for London. He go for Germany. Mr. Weber no show no respect. And Mr. Weber, make Mr. Weber, if for show respect and appreciation, and for thank all the people they don't keep the struggle alive during the time where Mr. Weber be the height for London. It talks because for that time, if they be defeat the Ambazonian people them, Mr. Weber not for stand today, the talk. For talk say defeat prisoners and way they for been for grave. So Barrister Tumasang Martin, he advised Mr. Weber, say, Mr. Weber, the next time we come up for outside for can talk, make you acknowledge and you respect all the other leaders that they did for outside here. Respect them, acknowledge them for the work and the contribution with them to the did one. And the second thing that Barrister Tumasang Martin, now the advisor will give Mr. Weber. Number 3 thing with Barrister Tumasang Martin, he talks say Mr. Weber, make Mr. Weber he graduate from the notion of West Cameroun. Barrister Tumasang Martin talks say make Mr. Weber he graduate from the concept and notion of West Cameroun. For talk Ambazonia. That means say Barrister Tumasang Martin talks say make Mr. Weber move West Cameroun for him up. If Mr. Weber stand for Ambazonia, anything Mr. Weber need for talk na about Ambazonia. West Cameroun na about going back to a failed system. Number 4, Barrister Tumasang Martin talks say Mr. Weber need for graduate from just big grammar and big talk and big grammar and big talk to things that would be very practical, where they feel apply them for ground zero for the war against Cameroon. Now Barrister Tumasang Martin that. Number 5, what Mr. Tumasang Martin talk? He talks say they say Mr. Weber need for stop for fool himself and for fool other people them. For talk say, for make Mr. Weber know say this struggle for winner, this struggle need money, and Mr. Weber, it need for start, for raise money for the war. Number 6, it talks say Mr. Weber need for woke up and for no say they say the things that when Mr. Weber don't do and for the past, because it's be stand up for speak for the Cameroun parliament and challenge the Cameroun government for that time. It don't mean say Mr. Weber. It don't mean say, it don't mean nothing for the present moment, for the fight for today. Wait till Mr. Weber be talking for that time, it be fine. But today, the fight for today, wait till it take place for today, it be completely different. And Mr. Weber, he need for know that one. Number 7, Mr. Martin talk say, they say, Mr. Weber needs for race, for organize, or if he want them, for take a liberation force where they already exist for ground zero and he make them like his own force. Now an advice where he give Mr. Weber. Number 8, where he talk am. Mr. Thomas and talk say, they say, Mr. Weber need for put himself, this one a really good advice. He talks say Mr. Weber need for put himself for be for a position where Mr. Weber supposed to be in a breach for all the movements. And at the thing this way, Mrs. I want to add my voice for that. The reason why Mr. Weber failed for Germany, the reason why Mr. Weber, for all the things that when Mr. Weber talking for Germany, the reason why Mr. Weber failed. Now because Mr. Weber not show himself as a person where he care for bring Ambazonians and together, for unite leaders, for unite movements. Mr. Weber not show like say he be that person where he be interested for work with other leaders. Mr. Weber not show himself like a person where he even care or he get the interest for talk with other leaders, for work with other leaders, for recognize other leaders. Mr. Weber come up like a very selfish man where he want a new position. He want become the new leader. He want all manga for year. Mr. Weber failed as a person who call himself say a revolutionary. He failed. And now the thing this way, he make Mr. Weber, he visit for Germany, it boils down to 0. Because he failed for live up to a certain reality. And that reality, I say, Ambazonians, they don't struggle over the last 5 years for create movements where they don't keep this struggle alive. And the failure to recognize that, now the same failure killed the IG. Their failure for recognize other movements and for one work with other movements for the collective victory of the Ambazonian people then. Mr. Weber, they get that arrogant, superior attitude. And it be very disastrous for people where they look at a breach. Now the main reason this where Weber failed for Germany. And that the main reason this where all those people where they sponsor it for go there, they be highly disappointed. So Mr. Martin, you nail them very well. You nail it. You are number 8 point. Now the most important point. Mr. Weber supposed to be a bridge for bring all the factions together. Not before go create another faction for already a divided people. Number 9. We'll go for number 9. Mr. Martin talks say Mr. Weber need for start for humble himself and for accept say ye Mr. Weber. He don't know more than all the people they did for diaspora. Mr. Tumasa Martin, you the worry place, Mr. Martin, you the worry place. You the worry place. Move go for number 10. What will be the last one where Mr. Tumasa Martin talking for Mr. Weber? He talk say Mr. Tumasa Martin. This man the worry place. This man a rebel. Tumasa Martin, you be a rebel, you the worry place. You the worry place like Tapanga Evo. you are Tapanga Evo, they like say una come over mami. You una the worry place. Una the worry Mr. Weber. Mo year number 10. Number 10 before. He talk say me Mr. Weber need for no say Mr. Weber be zero and in it for start from scratch. This one too, not true. It is like a new activist. Even though Mr. Weber mo no say he be a colonial parliamentarian, and mo no say Mr. Weber never resigned. Mr. Weber come out for the Cameroun parliament, but Mr. Weber never take pen and paper, resign. He never resign. Okay? Mr. Weber never he come out. He leave the parliament, but he never resign. Okay? I want to just throw it out there. Now the 10 points and that way, Mr. Tumasa Martin, he take him, he talk him, he put him for a Facebook, he put him for a Facebook and forgive small advice for big brother, the former Cameroon colonial senator of the SDF, Mr. Weber. Okay, so make una know say I be tell una I say this liberation is sweet, eh? No, they need the pass. We something need to come up. No, they need pass. So if una don't see them, all the people that go for Germany, una see say when they come up for Germany, una see say their energy just drop. As I be tell una. Now they get a shock. They get their shock because Ambazonia they did look for a miracle. As Dr. Nidi, the doctor, but I don't tell and say a liberation is not a walk in the park. A liberation is not in the walk in the park. So in conclusion, our big brother, Mr. Weber, the thing way a man like he for the work way they already do and for the courage we be stand up for speak on behalf of the Ambazonian people then. When most of we will not be get that kind of courage, it be really show a lot of courage. And when I say a courage, and the way we be talk for that colonial parliament, now it make people they still get very high expectations for you. Now it make people they still get very high expectations for you. But again, life na a journey. All man they learn, not be na a permanent thing. Now every person they evolve. Mr. Weber too. He go to learn and he go to adjust. But he finds say the best students and the one way they succeed fast. Now the one way they know say they feel learn from others, they feel consult others for the culture and what they fight for. This liberation is a collective effort. The effort where Mr. Weber make them back then, it give a lot of people encourage. And when see how it move our liberation forward. And so Mr. Weber need for get advice, then Mr. Weber need for being a person. Or we would look up to leaders them today. If we see all the leaders the way they succeed, now the leaders the way they do their best for bring our people together. If we see all the movements where they succeed, now the movements where they do their best and they be open and willing for work with all the other movements them. One movement, will fit give you independence. One movement not fit fight and defeat La République du Cameroun. Now a collective effort. Any person we think say he no pass all man. Any person we think say now only he one. If he speak for Ambazonia, you lie yourself and you go defeat yourself. So would you call on my personal advice to Big Brother Weber and I say, hey Big Brother Weber, as you don't come from outside here, a lot of people don't keep the fire of the liberation on. Reach out for them. Reach out. Reach out for be a big brother who if he bring the various, who if he help for unite the various factions of the IG. Who if he unite the 4 factions of the IG. And if he bring all the other Ambazonians liberation movements together. and help our people may they find a way where we fit practically work together for the defense of homeland. Work together for leaders for begin to speak with one voice. Work together as a people based on what we face against Cameroun. Based on what ground zero they go through. Now the thing that make a true leader. The thing that make a true leader. Okay? I encourage all una go listen for Mr. Weber's speech. Una go listen for the speech. Una judge from yourselves if after the long talk there is any substance and relevance and anything will be meaningful and uniting and anything will be directly for project and help ground zero for fight Cameroun. When I go listen for the speech, we encourage when I go listen and when I make our own evaluation of the speech and when I also get our own advice for give Mr. Weber. All right, would you only express opinions and foresee how all we opinions and way they be uniting opinions where they feel elevate all we opinions and where they go help for unite our forces on the ground for unite the leadership and so that if we get more of a united focus, it will take we to victory. A united focus, it will help we for defeat Cameroun very fast. A united focus will go bring all movements together. Now a collective effort will get many movements and now a good thing for the society we want build them. Not be a bad thing. For the society we want build them. We want to make different movements, different opinions, different ideologies. They feel come together, they talk, they exchange views, and then they come up with better and more tested ways where they will help we work. We get things the way they work right now. But if we get more people, them, more resources, more movement, they come together, we'll go feel help for support the various forces on the ground in a structured manner, and then they be more coordinated. Like now, when they see it happen, they don't call for a one-day lockdown. 15 movements and 15 defense forces. They don't talk in a one-day lockdown. Then you go here, other people that give different instructions. Different groups that give different instructions. This one they give different instructions. It creates an environment of chaos. And it be deliberate. Those things that be deliberate created by Sako and Crisano. Alright? So, we look up to movements and leaders where they go unify our people them. Where they go bring the AGOFC, they go bring the IGK, they go bring the APLM, they go bring all the other movements, Republic of Ambazonia, they go bring the consortium, they go bring Morisk, they go bring the APLM, they go bring all the other movements them. All together. Say when I come all we she down for table as one people. Make we talk. How all we feel work together for the defense of homeland, for the protection of our people them, for make sure say we kick La Republique will Cameroun out. Now a full war where people they face them. And if we come together with one voice, we speak with one voice, and we look for ways that we will collaborate for support ground zero as one people, we go knock off Cameroun out in a very short period of time. This one are common sense. The time where people that they want for proof themselves, that time don't pass. That time don't pass. When we don't work together, get for a point where we fit start from move into the transition phase, all movements, they will create the transition authority. And then during those period, where the world they help Ambazonia for create the transition government on the ground, and Ambazonia they go vote, they go select who will be their transition prime minister or the transition president. Anyhow, during those periods, all these movements them out here, including Joseph Weber, they form their political parties for prepare for councils elections, for state election, for state legislative elections, and for the federal elections. But for now, all we get for become soldiers of the revolution, for big people, they go bring what people them together, they go mobilize for the forces on the ground. So now for they would they. Alright, make an end for here. Who's that thing today? The battle between Ambazonia and Cameroun the hot. The case of Madame MUNDI It did on top Paul Biya neck. And that's why Mr. Biya don't run. Go for Europe. The heat, it be too much. Paul Biya no fit take the heat. Paul Biya no fit handle the heat. Paul Biya don't escape. Go for Europe. Go meet up. Because the international partners, they don't call Mr. Paul Biya. Say you need for come for Europe. We need for know what you did do. The palaver, they go on and on and on, and things that they escalate. Mr. Biya no go for Europe just for the sake of going to Europe. Mr. Biya go for Europe now because the Ambazonia Governing Council, they put fire for Mr. Biya, alas. And because the leader of a war of independence, he know how for put pressure for Paul Biya, and for put pressure for La Republique, and for put pressure for the international community. He did for Paul Biya, alas. The pressure day. The Ambazonia Governing Council on behalf of the Ambazonian people them, it don't light fire. Chukam for Paul Biya, alas. Mr. Biya no fit stand the heat. That's why the international partners, they don't call him. Make he go explain himself. Why he did delay? So that's why Mr. Biya go Europe. He go Europe because they want to talk for it directly. He go Europe because they tell you say we not fit leave him. This war continue for go on. See now a senator don't be captured. And it did for the Ambazonia people they are keeping. And you should not fish, you don't quiet. We want to know what will be a solution to this war. And the reason that Mr. Biya go Europe. He not go Europe because he want to go enjoy. He go Europe because the pressure be too high. And they want to talk for it. So make you understand. The tension will be too high. Now a case between Ambazonia versus Cameroun. Now a case about the survival of our people then. So make una stay strong. 20th May Day, just in 4 days. According to the consensus with all the movements then, they don't build them and agree upon now only 1 day lockdown it will be for the Ambazonian territory. Now only 1 day lockdown it will be for across the territory. Now, only 1 day. We don't already defeat the nation of 20th May. So there is no need for 5 days lockdown. And there is no political objective where any person want to achieve them by imposing a 5-day lockdown. Just like other one them, as we don't really tell now, these Cameroons agents provocateurs, they always continue for push our people them, test our people them, for make it show say Ambazonia they get they need to agree, they divide themselves. No, we need to divide ourselves because as soon as see 15 movements, including defense groups. They come together and agree for 1 day lockdown. Now the one voice that we people don't speak on, we already communicate this one for now. Today na Ghost Town, today na Country Sunday, na Monday, May 16, na Country Sunday. Tomorrow we na Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the next 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. Make una use them for buy chop, for buy water, for buy medicine, for go for farm, for take care of all things them, we na go only observe now 1 day on 20th May. Make I give this warning. Any person where it live ya pikin, they go participate for anything Cameroun for 20th May. Now you go carry a matter for your head. If that pikin not come back for house, because the forces they did for outside, they go consider any person on the street of Ambazonia as a Cameroun military. Now you the papa and now you the mommy carry the matter for your head. Not blame them on Ambazonian forces. Because the forces, they go enforce the laws of the country. They go enforce the laws of the territory. If you take money for Cameroun, for say you want to go wear CPDM uniform, you go march for a day whenever Cameroun use them for reoccupy and recolonize Ambazonia. make you know say the forces they go consider you as a Cameroon military and a member of the Cameroon occultic Cameroon Devils movement, what they call as a CPDM. The CPDM na a cult. CPDM na witch house. Not triumph. Any country meeting, any country group where he go wear CPDM uniform, or he come out say he want go a big this cultural group and he want go march for satisfy the colonial SDO, the colonial DO, or the governor, you no go come back or quarter. You no go come back. No person of it betray the Ambazonian people them. Cameroon of it use you for try for fool the world about Ambazonia and Cameroon. Say anything of a unitary state. There is no unitary state. Now two separate countries. They never ever come together as one. They never ever come together as one. Now war of liberation would they so. So save your life. Save your picking their life. Not leave and make some person can't fool you. Now very dangerous times this. And we want to make all our citizens they be safe. Not be a victim to Cameroon their propaganda because 20th May it don't be defeated. When I use Tuesday, when I use Wednesday, when I use Thursday for go for farm, for make market, because on Friday when at the 20th of May, the territory it will be locked down under national lockdown. All our borders they will be closed. When I stay for house because now the day of collective resistance. Now sit at home resistance. Alright? No man not come off outside. When I make sure say when I get enough water, when I get enough chop for that day. For that day self. Any person will get more money, buy small mimbo. When I shit on for house, when I cook, when I small chop, when I chop for house, when I be safe, when I celebrate Ambazonian resistance because Cameroon it don't be defeated. Now it be up to them for accept which the Ambazonia Governing Council it don't offer them on behalf of the Ambazonian people. If they want make Madame Mundi get freedom, make the release or Big Papa Pam for Ngalan 4 and 75 other Ambazonians at the beginning this of the talks. This moment, if it be now a critical moment for the beginning of something great ahead. But the Ambazonia people need to stay firm and make una not live and make una be controlled by emotions and propaganda. This the arrest of Cameroon top highest colonial senator, highest Cameroon occupation official. If he been at the turning point of our liberation, the arrest of Madame Mundi, if he been at the turning point of the Ambazonia Ambazonia liberation. Now we hold the key. We hold the key to it. It be up to we. And leadership don't make decisions. We put the liberation first. It put the Ambazonian people them first. It put what people they fight for first. If it be a turning point. A positive turning point. As the leader don't tell una. Indicators that they show we. So they win. We get indicators. Oh, the follow and for sure say. We control the narrative. Now we determine the outcome. Now we tell wetin Cameroon wetin we want am. Now we tell now Ambazonia tell Biya wetin Biya must do am. The power then for the Ambazonian people their hand. I will talk on that tomorrow. For now, we continue to be resilient. Happy Country Sunday. Shake, day. We thank all our mommy them. We thank all our papa them. We thank all our defense forces them across the 13 states. I want just send blessings and prayers to the Supreme Commander of Ambazonia Defense Forces, General Efan, for your leadership. They do an incredible work for very difficult circumstances. Una forces did work. We'll continue for put them on our prayers. While we pray, we continue for mobilize for Operation 100,000 bullets. 20th May they come, the forces they will be out for their numbers and in their thousands. They will need thousands of bullets. So tomorrow, I'm going to come out here, I'm going to do a 20th May bullets campaign for give the forces them enough bullets for enforce 20th May. So tomorrow, I will be directly live for my YouTube channel and directly live for ACN TV for do Operation the bullet campaign for enforce the 20th May lockdown. So we wanna prepare ourselves. One bullet, na $2. One bullet na $2. So tomorrow, prepare your bullets. All right? I will talk for tomorrow. I will put out a flyer on time for what time I will be online and what time will they do the campaign for the next 3 days. Every single day, I will come out live. Will do campaign for raise more money, for buy more bullets, for defend our homeland, and for enforce our national sovereignty. Okay? All right, make a leave for today. I love you now. Good night.